got rid of the intro because that would have sucked to sit through 40 seconds of me. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. I am the Crypto Crow here with Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson. I'm very excited to have him back. It's been a while. I think the last time we talked, you were on a trip in a car.
Yeah,
and so much has happened since then. And I know that everybody's going to be glad to see this. But how the hell are you? I know you just got back from Asia, and I'm pretty sure you just kind of toured all of Asia for a while.
Oh, Lord, it was a trip. I was Mongolia, Vietnam, Singapore, Korea, and Japan. But it was a phenomenal trip because, it's always nice to return to where you started and realize there's a lot of people that still love you. And there's a lot of people that still are super fans. And, that is where it all began when you go to Japan and you go to Korea. And some of these people we talked to, they've been in the ecosystem for over 10 years. And they're just excited about how much progress has been made. When you widen the aperture and you say, when we started, it was just a fantasy and a whiteboard video, and now it's a fully decentralized network. It's self-determining. It's got recursive governance. It's fully decentralized. And we're making great progress on the roadmap, and they really appreciate that because it was just all promises and commitments back in the day for them. And now that they're actually able to participate in governance, they run the network through being stake pool operators. It's a big thing. They had a lot of advice about things they want to be done differently and where we want to go. But that's good to hear. And Token 2049, we took over the event. It's 27,000 people there.
Wow.
We were on every badge. The Wi-Fi password was input output. We had the largest booth there outside of the SWE guys, and there was like the pavilion, and we probably had 20,000 visitors at that booth, and we got to show off Hydra, and we got to show off the roadmap Cardano. There was also a Cardano sister booth that was there that kind of a joint effort with Emergo and a lot of others, and it was good because Intersect was there, and they were able to showcase a lot of the cool things that are happening. And everybody's like, we had no idea Cardano's still around. We thought you guys all died and things like that. It's pretty cool to see the ecosystem is still there. So that was good.
An odd comment.
Well, the problem is that there's a lot of root causes. We spent quite a bit of time asking the question, like, why is there such a disconnect between the reality and the perception of the reality when you look at Cardano as a whole? And, things like DeFi Llama, it only registers 50,000 MAUs with Cardano, even though there's 1.3 million people participating in staking. So you have a lot of monthly active users who are doing things on the network like transacting or staking, but there's not as big of a DeFi prominence there. We could count our staking as TVL like they do in Ethereum land. We'd have over $12 billion, $13 billion in TVL just from that. But
Right.
We can't. They won't let us do that. They'll let Ethereum do it. We don't get to do that because we're liquid non-custodial. So these are some of the relationship issues where the metrics are misreported. So a lot of VCs and other people, they just simply write Cardano off as a has-been, and they just assume it's dead. So when you go do an event like Token 2049, they see there's a vibrant, rich ecosystem and a lot going on. They realize that they've misjudged, and it's a window to re-engage people and talk to people again.
Yeah, there's been so much confusion around a lot of like the total value staked and all of these metrics that a lot of these other tokens use. And it's always frustrated the hell out of me and everyone else in the Cardano community because, technically all the ADA that's staked to a node right now should be included in that metric. Yeah. And it's not, and it's always ignored. And it's very frustrating because technology changes. And to me, I've always looked at it like, well, you've got the SEC rules from 1933 in the cornfields and trying to be applied to the crypto space. Now you've got how quickly the crypto market and cryptocurrencies change right now from every 3 or 4 years. And we're still holding on to the old metrics the way they were instead of favoring the new technology, the next generation. So it's always been very frustrating. But I'm glad to see that you guys had such, because I've seen so many of the pictures and the video clips, and it's actually really exciting stuff. How do you think how do you think Asia is going to play a big role in maybe the way things do change moving forward?
Well, I'm just gotten tired of asking for other people to do it. And what we're starting to do is we're starting to take a step back and say IO needs to lead on a few things just to move things along. Like on Midnight, I think that's been the most transformational project in the history of Cardano. It went from Cardano as a closed ecosystem. We don't talk to anybody. The foundation's a no-show, and just write them off to, hey, actually, they're making deals. Midnight will be listed on every major exchange. That's the first Cardano native asset to do that. It's an inevitability. It's gonna happen. Midnight's made over 100 deals. They got us good with Copper and got us good with Brave and blockchain.com, bitcoin.com. And these are just not small things. What people don't realize is Midnight is a Cardano asset. So for that deal to work, they have to integrate Cardano. They have to support Cardano. So every time Midnight makes a deal, it's actually also making a Cardano deal at the same time. And it's solving a lot of the broken windows, like the Oracle problem, the stablecoin problem, these other types of things. And the Midnight Foundation is a super aggressive organization. And sometimes we have to slow them down a little bit because they want to make deals like every day. In fact, they're averaging one every 3 days, which is an incredible pace. And we really enjoy it. But there's a lot to do. Every time you make a deal, you have to service the deal. So it's not good enough just to make the announcement. So that's one lens and dimension. The other is we got to change our event strategy as an ecosystem. So I thought long and hard about this. We put a lot of money at IO into Rare Evo. We've done it now for 3 years in a row. And every time we've gone to that, it's great to see all the old friends, but it was just Cardano talking to Cardano, and we were having a really hard time making that multi-chain. This last one, we had other chains show up, but you could tell it was kind of a courtesy instead of an investment or a commitment. But
Mhm.
when we looked at token 2049, we said, holy shit,